Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of From Screen to Shelf. This is Gabe, and I'm here to do a quick House of the Dragon Season 2 finale review. The episode just aired last night. I can probably also give you my thoughts as a whole on Season 2, but I just kind of want to talk about the finale that aired last night. We are definitely going to get into some spoiler territory here, so if you've not seen the finale for Season 2 House of the Dragon, go check it out, then come back to this video. So I've had the whole day to process the finale for season 2, and I have to say that I walked away a little bit discouraged, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Reason being is that this episode felt like a second to last episode of a season. It did not feel like a season finale whatsoever. So you have a lot going on here. You have a lot going on with Daemon. You have a lot going on with Rhaenyra, with Alicent. There's just a lot of buildup and momentum happening, and I started getting concerned about 50 minutes into the episode because I started actually looking at the time. I'm like, we have about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes left of the episode, and there's just so much buildup still happening. So I'm kind of anticipating this, this climax to happen, for something to pop off, and it never does. You get through the whole episode just with this intense buildup, and then it just ends. And to be honest, guys, it just feels like you're left with blue balls. The best analogy I can give you. You're just left with this immense buildup. There's no climax. And, the screen cuts to black. So it was kind of discouraging. I was kind of disappointed with the way this episode ended things. I wanted at least, some form of a climax or some event to kind of spark off and facilitate season 3. The best comparison I can give you is actually season 1, where you see Rhaenyra lose her son. And that just led to this like, oh my God moment. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I can't wait to watch season 2. It was such a peak for that season, and that was the ending. And I was kind of anticipating something like that to happen with season 2 finale. I just didn't get it, guys. And some of the stuff I'm going to talk about with the finale, I think you can kind of say that there are issues with season 2 in general. So one of the issues I had is there was not enough Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook in this episode. Alicent and Rhaenyra are honestly the most fascinating characters in my perspective. They're the ones going head to head here. So they just didn't get enough screen time. You know what I mean? You're left with all of these other characters that, frankly, I don't care about. The subplot with the Dragon Riders, I really didn't care for. And the subplot with Lord Corlys, I think is his name. The sea dragon or the sea serpent, with his 2 bastard sons. I didn't care for that subplot at all. I mean, it was intriguing in a way, but it just, I just kept saying, like, let's get back to Rhaenyra. Let's get back to Alicent. I kind of want to see what's going on with them. So, and then you also have Daemon, another fascinating character, and he's over in Harrenhal like the entire season, just losing his mind. I thought with the finale that it was kind of boiled up to, some tension with Daemon and Rhaenyra. I thought that was the event that was going to maybe pop things off. So when, Rhaenyra goes to see Daemon at Harrenhal, and, you see his army there, and he's kind of walking up to her, and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be, a battle on all fronts. She has to, worry about the High Towers. Now she has to worry about Daemon. And he just, I get it. He bends the knee. He acknowledges her as queen. A lot of the visions he was witnessing were just kind of, filled with themes about, how heavy the crown is, on the person that has to wear it. And I think maybe, throughout that time, you probably realized that ruling the 7 kingdoms is more a stressor than anything else. It's hard on the person that has to do it. And, he slowly developed insight that maybe that's not for him, which is great. But it also kind of takes away from this tension that you've had all season with, Rhaenyra just worried the whole time with, like, what is Daemon up to? Is he raising his own army? And that would have set off, a whole other world of events. I know this is based off of the books or the accounts in the book, because it's not like an actual It's not like the Game of Thrones series where there's actual narrative. I think these are just kind of historical accounts that are documented in the book, so they kind of have to adapt it the best they can. But yeah, you just there was no payoff there, and I'm just kind of left wondering like what's gonna happen, and there was no climax. I think that's the biggest thing I can say with this review is that there was no climax whatsoever. And that's a problem, like from a narrative perspective. When you have all these fascinating characters and you have all this build up, especially the final scenes of the finale, you have, you see the Lannisters, you see the High Towers, you see the Dragon Riders, you see all these different subplots playing out. You know what I mean? They're building and building and building, and it just ends. And I get it, it's the end of a season, and that's happened with some of the seasons with Game of Thrones as well, but there was always some kind of climax to the season. And if someone asked me what was the climax of the season, I really can't tell you what it was. I think one of the peaks of this season was the dragon battle that happened mid-season. You know what I mean? I think that was probably one of the peaks of the season where your jaw was just left dropped. You know what I mean? With those three battles, with the three dragons battling it out. But after that, it just kind of dies down. There's a lot of interesting stuff. I love the plot with Rhaenyra, kind of her doubting herself and what she's doing, and her getting I forget the characters' names, guys. That assistant, her kind of. Not her hand, but that one girl that was in Westeros that she brought over with the scar on her neck. I love that dynamic that played out. But I just didn't get enough of it. And I think the biggest thing here, guys, is that Matt Smith, Emma Darcy, and Olivia Cook are honestly, they're the best actors on the show. And they have the best characters on the show, in my opinion, like the most intriguing, fascinating characters. And I want to spend more time with them, but we're kind of scattered throughout the realm with this one. And Game of Thrones handled it a little bit better, where, that was the same thing. You'd be kind of, north of the wall, and then you'd be at King's Landing, and then you'd be at maybe Harrenhal or wherever. But this one just kind of felt very, very separated. I felt like the subplots in Game of Thrones were kind of woven together a lot more tightly, and this felt kind of a little bit more loose. Now, I've said a lot of negative things about this season. It's not a bad season whatsoever. The problem is it's the ending. It's the way it ends. So if they gave it like 2 more episodes and actually had a climax at the end, this would have been a really, really great season. I'm left kind of discouraged. I'm left kind of wanting more. The acting is great. The visuals are top notch as usual to HBO. The budget on this show is huge. It's a great show. I had a great time watching season 2, but the issue is that, you just don't get the payoff. So I think if they had added 2 more episodes to this season, you could have had a really, really good, solid finale. And the buildup that's been happening throughout the season, would have been worth it. And right now you're just kind of left with cut to black. We'll see you in 2 years, because I think that's how long it took for us to get season 2. So, as a whole, guys, I mean, season 2, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. I think with season 1, I gave it like a 9 out of 10. I really, really loved season 1. I think it got back to basics with what Game of Thrones did so well the first 3 or 4 seasons. But we lost some of that with season 2. I'm hoping this was just, I'm hoping there is a payoff with season 3. There has to be, with all this buildup that they did. But yeah, guys, that's just kind of how I'm feeling about season 2. I wanted more Emma Darcy. She's probably the best actress on the entire show. I think she's really an underrated actress. Her performance as Rhaenyra is top notch. I don't think she gets enough. She gets enough praise for what she's doing with that character. And everyone on the show is great, but it's like there was definitely some narrative and structural stuff going on that kind of hindered season 2 a little bit. So yeah, guys, overall I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. The season finale, though, I'd probably give like a 6.5 out of 10. I was just not feeling it, guys. It was just an hour and 20 minutes of build up with no payoff. So kind of disappointed. I'm excited for season 3. Of course, I'm going to watch season 3. I think season 3 is hopefully, all the buildup that, that season 2 was giving us, where we're going to get the climax there. I don't know if they're going to be, I don't know how long this story is. I don't know if it just ends with season 3 or if they have to stretch it out to season 4. I'd be interested in seeing what they do, but, season 3 should be crazy with the way this one left off. It just kind of sucks that we have to wait 2 years to actually get that story playing out. So let me know what you guys thought about House of the Dragon season 2 and the finale that aired last night. Comment down below. Give us your thoughts, guys. I'll try to do more content on Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon in the future, but just wanted to give you guys my quick thoughts on House of the Dragon season 2 finale, and we will catch you guys for the next one. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.